Hi, I'm Trevor.
I'm Ellie.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Devin.
I'm Kira.
And I'm Aiden. As you've heard, we are Team Storm, and we are on our first legally robotics team here in Terre Haute.
First, FLL, which is First Lego League, is an alliance between First and Lego. First is an organization founded by Dean Kamen that stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. FLL is an international program with 25,000 teams in over 80 countries. It introduces STEM principles, which are science, technology, engineering, and math, through a robotics competition for kids ages 9 to 14 years old. FLL is a great way for kids like us to explore STEM principles in a fun and meaningful way at the same time. We would love to have more teams be started up right here in the Wabash Valley, and we would love to help them get started.
And there's really no better way if you want to kind of instill an entrepreneurial spirit in your kids, get them involved in a STEM program, and you can put them on that path. So if you have kids yourself, or if you're involved in any volunteer groups, there's a lot of Girl Scout teams, Boy Scout teams. We'd love to help you get started, and they first encourages teams to actually mentor. So it wouldn't be Tom and myself helping; it would be the kids helping other kids. So we'd love to get teams started in this area.
Yeah, they're currently the only team in Terre Haute, and we compete against teams from around the state where there'll be small towns with 5 or 6 teams, and we'd love to get others started if we could. So.
There's a lot of people who will ask us how can we get our kid on the team, and our answer to that is usually how can we help you start a team, because that's the best way to spread the first love. So that's our goal really. So Devin, why don't you tell everybody how Team Storm got its start?
Okay, so in 2011, a Rose Holman student, Andy Maluzzi, started our team. But unfortunately, after that season was over, Andy graduated and moved to Florida, so he couldn't continue coaching. But we had such an incredible first season, and my parents saw how much we grew as a team, and so they, along with us, didn't want to let the team dissolve. So they took over the role of coaching, and we've been having meetings twice a week in our basement at home ever since.
Every year we attend a regional competition, and if we do well there, we go on to a state competition in Fort Wayne. We have actually been lucky enough to make it to the state competition every year. There are 3 parts to the competition. There's the robot game, the project, and core values. The robot game is where we program our robot that we build to do certain missions on a board. The project is where we come up with an invention that goes along with the theme, and this year was to help someone learn. And the core values are things like teamwork and gracious professionalism.
And so at an actual competition, when they compete at their regional level, they will sit down with 3 different sets of judges. So they'll have their project judges where they'll talk about what they did. So in this case, it would have been the Roy math system. They'll sit down with a group of robot design judges where they'll actually show them the robot, and there will be a playing field in that little room, just like the one that they'll be playing on later that day. And they'll have to, in front of these judges, demonstrate their robot and explain how they created all their little parts and all the bells and whistles on their robot. And then also their core values, and the kids will talk about each one of those in a minute. But they're basically having a 10-minute session with each panel of judges, just so that it's a small group environment where they get to talk one-on-one with the judges. So that brings us to Devin. So you explain the project?
Okay, so the project is my favorite part of First Lego League. So at the end of each summer, First releases the new challenge based on a real-world scientific project. So for example, our rookie year, we had to explore the issue of food safety. We got to meet with Mr. Basler upstairs in his office at the store, and he told us about all the challenges being involved in the food industry. The next year, which was Senior Solutions, we had to come up with a way to keep senior citizens active and involved in the community. That year, we researched dementia and created the Remind Me Watch, which helps people challenged with dementia remember different daily tasks they have to do. The next year, we researched different ways to keep our community safe during a tornado. We invented the Tornado Safe Zone app, which will direct you to all areas of Terre Haute will have shelter if a tornado ever happened here. That year was super exciting because we got the opportunity to present our invention to the mayor of Terre Haute. And of course, our most recent solution was the Verge Terre Haute system, which we'll tell you about in a few minutes.
Okay, so Caleb will talk a little bit more about the robot game.
Okay, so the next part of FLL is the robot game, where every team has to create and program an autonomous robot, like that one right here. There's our robot that Trevor's showing you guys. So we have to program that robot to perform on a Lego built game board that's designed each year, and it's about 4 feet by 8 feet. So during the competition, there are 3 2.5-minute rounds that every team has to compete with their robot, then the best score is taken out of those 3 rounds. So there's a lot of strategy that goes into deciding which missions you want to do, based on their location, complexity, and point value, because you won't have time to do all the missions in the 2.5-minute rounds.
Like Caleb has briefly mentioned, teams must build a robot out of Lego, which means every single piece has to be Lego. Even if you use a rubber band, it would have to be a Lego rubber band. You use the Lego Mindstorm's computer which will then program on a different computer to activate motors and sensors, which for instance, here's our robot, which has 4 motors, 2 color sensors for following lines that would be on the board, a gyro sensor to help us with our turns, and an ultrasonic sensor for sensing rolls. And every year, teams will rebuild a new robot from scratch to fit the needs of that year's board.
So Devin mentioned that the project is her favorite part of First Lego League. Probably what draws most kids to First Lego League is the robot. Everybody loves to work on the robot. And it's just a really exciting, nail-biting competition when you're watching these robots perform. But from a coach's standpoint, and maybe even a parent standpoint, the draw for me is that all First programs, everything that they do is guided by a unique set of core values that are really the cornerstone to First programs. And there are so many teachable moments in any given season where coaches are encouraged to pause and really talk about these core values, because it's kind of like when they talk about school, math and reading are maybe not the most important things kids learn in school, right? There's so many other lessons in life. And these core values are what they're going to take with them when they leave First Lego League and move on to other things. You know, they'll take it into the business world and anything they do in life. And at the actual competition, they are judged on these core values, which is kind of tricky because, you know, they have to really watch carefully to see how the kids are interacting with each other. One of their judging sessions is a core values judging sessions where the kids are given something brand new, some brand new task to do that they haven't prepared for. You know, they may need to build something out of Legos or create a song and dance or something crazy that they're asked to do. And they really want to test the team to see how well they work together. Are there leadership roles? You know, some will naturally be leaders. We try to divide the leadership so that all of them are leaders in some way. But how are they speaking to each other and what attitudes are they bringing to the table? And we really pay attention to that. They go so far as to, you know, kind of go incognito at the competitions and walk around to see how they're speaking to each other when they're like scrambling to get ready for their robot runs and things. So we really love that about First. And Aiden, why don't you tell us about probably one of the most important of all the core values, gracious professionalism.
Okay, sure. Dr. Woody Flowers coined the term gracious professionalism. It is probably one of the most important of all core values. It is a way of doing things that encourages high quality work, emphasizes the value of others, and respects students and the community. Our team tries very hard to show gracious professionalism in everything we do, as a team and on our own.
So This brings us, I guess, to the Verge Terre Haute system. So they'd like to tell you a little bit more about this pretty exciting season that we just ended. So the project, the Verge Terre Haute system, they're going to kind of give you a quick rundown of their project ideas. So we'll start with Trevor.
You may know Henry Winkler as the Fonz.
Many kids know him as a famous children's author.
But most may not know that Henry Winkler has been challenged with dyslexia his entire life.
That's right, and our team heard him speak at Indiana State University at the beginning of our FLL season.
His own parents called Henry Student, which means dumb dog in German, and they often punished him for his difficulties in school.
That's right. His parents and teachers thought Henry was lazy and would never amount to anything.
Mr. Winkler's heartbreaking stories inspired us to research dyslexia and find a way to help kids never feel this kind of shame.
Thankfully today, schools often recognize when children have learning challenges and assign specialists who can help, like Mrs. Cooper, whom we met with at Ellie's school to share our project idea.
You see, dyslexia is a language-based disorder that occurs when the brain does not properly recognize and process certain symbols. But don't forget, math is full of symbols.
A lot is being done to help students with dyslexia improve their language or art skills. Since kids with dyslexia can struggle just as much with numbers, we believe math deserves more attention.
So we asked ourselves, how can we improve the way elementary students challenged with dyslexia learn new math concepts so they don't stress over flipping, reversing, or rearranging numbers?
You could say Henry Winkler gave us a little inspiration with our invention too. He uses a cool font in his Here's Hank books designed with a heavy baseline so the letters stay anchored to the page.
We wanted to do something to help kids keep numbers in place.
And so, our Roy G. Biv math system was born.
That's right. We learned that 50 to 60% of people with dyslexia struggle with math. If you have difficulty decoding written words, you are likely to have difficulty decoding mathematical notations and symbols too. So our app uses a color-coded system to keep each place value distinct and acts like an anchor so you are less likely to flip numbers.
The homepage of the Roy G. Biv math system shows a large number with digits on both sides of the decimal point. See how each place value follows the Roy G. Biv pattern?
The ones place is always red, the tens and tenths are orange, the hundreds and hundreds are yellow, and so on. The red acts as the starting point and anchor.
The digits on one side of the decimal point are bigger than the other. That's to set the whole numbers apart from the decimal places, so it's hard to flip numbers across the decimal points. If you do, you will recognize your error immediately.
That's right. You will see that either the rainbow pattern is out of order or the font size doesn't match up.
Fractions will also follow the Roy G. Biv pattern. The denominator has a bold font to anchor it to the page and set it apart from the numerator.
Teachers can load assignments each day so students can complete them on a tablet. Also, homework can be completed and then printed or emailed to the teacher.
That's right, and kids can take class notes in the notebook section, which will color code each digit automatically.
And starting next month, we will be collaborating with 4 students at Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, and we will be meeting with them on a regular basis to accomplish our goal. And it's really nice that we're going to be able to meet with them every couple of weeks to give our input on how our app should be built, rather than us just giving them the information and then them coming up with a final project a couple of weeks before graduation, which we may or may not be pleased with. And so we'll be able to meet with them and give them input so they'll have time to make the changes.
So even though this is their 4th year of competing, it's their first year that they applied for this Global Innovation Award that has brought us to the point where they can actually develop their idea with Rose-Hulman. The reason they did this for the first year is because at the regional and their state competitions, the judges really encouraged them to do this, to apply for this award. And they met with David and Brian and talked to them about, how they had become semi-finalists for this, and they encouraged them to get a patent, because once you put it out there and make it, public, in this way, that you want to protect it, obviously. So they directed us toward Dustin Du Bois, and he's been a tremendous help. They were able to secure a provisional patent before they went, and Devin is going to tell us a little bit about that whole process of applying for the awards.
Okay. So the Global Innovation Award, like you heard, is presented by X Prize. And this award is encouraged to get teams to actually follow through with their invention and actually create it. So last January, we filed an online application for the GIA. And then out of 527 teams from 22 different countries, the top 20 were chosen to go to St. Louis to present their inventions in front of a panel of judges. And we were really excited to get to experience this 3-day event. So then the top 3 teams were chosen there, and they went to Washington, D.C. for an awards ceremony. And we were absolutely honored to get to be one of those 3 finalists. In D.C., first prepared an amazing few days for us at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, where we got to speak with actual patent examiners about to discuss our inventions. And then the next day, Team Storm was announced as the winner of that award, and I can't even begin to describe how honored we felt.
So, and then as if that was not like a big enough surprise for everybody, we were just shocked what happened at the very end, which was really super cool that they planned for us.
So at the end, they told us to look at the projector screen, and a personal message from Henry Winkler himself to our team was played, and it was amazing to see that because he was our inspiration.
And you know what Henry Winkler was like? He was, so cute and funny, and said, "Who's the coolest? Team Storm." It was just really cute. So we were just brought tears to a lot of people's eyes. So we were very happy about that. So that brings us to Ellie.
In addition to working with Rose Holman this year, we will also continue to work with Ice Miller to acquire a non-provisional patent. We are very excited about that and are so grateful that Ice Miller supports what we are doing.
Thank you, Dustin.
We would be happy to answer any questions you may have about First Lego League or about our Roy G. Biv Masses.